Richard, welcome back to another episode where we talk about the top tight ends. And I just want to review, before we get started in this video, last week we got 7 out of 14 tight ends right. Anything that you want to add to them?
Well, we picked 15 tight ends, and obviously we did this early in the week, so we had Jonnu Smith on that list, so we give ourselves a break on that. So of the 14 remaining tight ends, we got 7 of them right. It's not very good, not as good as we've done with running backs, wide receivers, quarterbacks. But tight ends is difficult. Basically, you're guessing, for that latter group, like 9 through 15, you're guessing who catches a touchdown and who doesn't, because that's usually the difference. And so we got about half right. Hopefully this week we get them all right.
All right. Well, can't get them all right. And I'm with you that you can get one tight end, run the seam, and catch a ball and, put up some yards and kind of change that whole list there. All right, so let's get started on the top 15 tight ends for Week 5.
And number 1, we have George Kittle, who'll be home against Miami. I mean, George Kittle went crazy this week with 15 receptions, a bunch of yardage. He won a lot of fantasy games this week. And so everybody's happy to have him back. And number 2, we have Travis Kelce, who'll be home against Las Vegas. George Kittle, Travis Kelce, 1A, 1B. Who do you like, Ryan?
Well, I tell you, it's a flip-flop depending on who they play, right? So you can go with Kelce, you can go with Kittle. This week, I like Kittle. I just think the way he was playing, he just looked like he was on a mission. Definitely, Kelce has that same ability, but I think I'd go with Kittle this week, and you did, so I'm with you on that. The main difference between the two is a steady quarterback. You got Mahomes, who's been steady, passing around a lot. That could go against him. And for Kittle, he's playing a second string with a second string quarterback. So you don't know what you're going to get on that. But I think it's a toss-up. I like what you went. You went Kittle first this week. I'm behind you on that.
Yeah, I think Kelce has that huge advantage, right, with Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, even Garoppolo, even with Garoppolo, I mean, it's not the same. So I think Kelce has that advantage. And number 3, we have Mark Andrews, who'll be home against Cincinnati. Mark Andrews caught a couple touchdown passes this week. And, he might not catch 2 more next week, but he's going to do well. Number 4, Darren Waller against Kansas City. Waller had a good week also. And now he's got a matchup where Derek Carr is going to have to air it out. If they want to keep up. So Darren Waller could have a big week. Yeah, Ryan, what do you have to say about Darren Waller?
Well, I like Waller. He definitely is Carr's favorite target. And the way he runs his routes, he looks like a wide receiver more than he is a tight end. I think he's a gem in fantasy. If you got him on your team, aren't you happy to have him? But he's just Carr's favorite target. Big, strong, fast guy, runs great routes. He's a great tight end.
And number 5, we have Jonnu Smith, who's home against Buffalo. Jonnu missed last week. Tennessee didn't play, but he's back this week. They may have to pass more than run. I mean, Travis Henry's still going to get his touches, but they may have to pass toward the end of the game to try to keep up with Josh Allen in Buffalo. So it could be a good week for Jonnu Smith. And number 6, we have Dalton Schultz. Home against the Giants. Schultz is the number 1 tight end in Dallas, and we know that offense passes the ball a lot. They have a good matchup this week, but I think Elliott's going to have a big day, but it doesn't mean Dalton Schultz can't catch a touchdown pass. And number 7, we have Hunter Henry at New Orleans. Hunter Henry didn't make the top 15 tight ends this week. He was a little bit of a letdown. But he's received at least 7 targets, week 1 through 3, and then last week only had 3 targets. I think week 5 we're going to go back to that 7 or more. And number 8, we have Zach Ertz at Pittsburgh. Zach Ertz has been a little disappointing this season, right? He's like top 5 tight end. Some people might say third best, fourth best, but he hasn't performed as such. Ryan, what's going on with Ertz?
Well, I think he told you somewhere in this season that Philadelphia doesn't want him. And I think it's kind of playing out. Something strange going on, right? He's the number 21st tight end in standard scoring. He's seen a lot of targets at 29, which is fourth among tight ends. But Wentz is struggling. But with 29 targets, you would expect him to do a little bit better. Something's going on there. I don't see him staying with that team beyond this year.
And number 9, we have Hayden Hurst, home against Carolina. As we saw Monday night, Matt Ryan likes throwing to Hurst. Obviously, he's got a lot of good receivers, namely Ridley and Julio Jones. But Hayden Hurst, there's a place for him, and I like him at 9 in a decent matchup. And number 10, we have Tyler Higbee, who's going to be at Washington. Tyler Higbee, again, exploded in week 2 with the 3 touchdowns. Since then, hasn't done much, but that's still a good offense. And, Higbee can score a touchdown any given week. So we're going to put him at 10. At 11, we have Eric Ebron, who's home against Philadelphia. Big Ben's tight end. We think Big Ben's going to have a good week this week. He's going to air it out. Eric Ebron's going to catch a few passes, maybe even a touchdown. And number 12, Evan Engram. Uber talented tight end, right? This guy also plays like a wide receiver. Very athletic. But, man, I don't know what's going on with Daniel Jones and that Giants team. They have a great matchup this week. That's why Engram is in the top 12. It's number 12. But who knows what to expect from Daniel Jones. And number 13, Mike Gesicki. Mike Gesicki, great week 2. Scored a touchdown week 3. Didn't do much against Seattle. It was a little upsetting. Had only 1 reception. He plays at San Francisco. Tough defense. But, Mike Gesicki's a great tight end. And hopefully Ryan Fitzpatrick finds him a few more times than just once this week. And number 14, we have Jimmy Graham, home against Tampa Bay. Tough defensive matchup. But when the Bears get in the red zone, they'll definitely be looking for Jimmy Graham. And number 15, we have Alie-Cox, who will be at Cleveland. Alie-Cox caught a touchdown this last week. And so we're including him in our top 15. Cleveland, not the best defense, at least against the pass. So we'll see if Philip Rivers can exploit them and include his tight end. And that's our top 15 tight ends for this week.
All right, I just want to say I appreciate you coming on here and sharing. One thing that I don't know if a lot of people were paying attention, but there's a lot of questions in the comment section. And anything that you want to kind of share before we move on about those comment sections and what people should do when they ask you a question?
Yeah. They all have to just post fantasy questions in any one of our videos. I mean, we have, running back, quarterback, wide receiver, tight end for week 5. We do it for every week. Just in the comments section, just write up a question and I'll try to answer it, as quickly as I can. I usually get to all the questions in a short amount of time. Because I love fantasy, man. That's what I do.
Well, we appreciate you answering a lot of those questions. Every now and then you'll see me chime in. Hey, thanks for coming on here and sharing your top 15 tight ends. Like always, we wish you good luck in fantasy football, and we hope you have a successful fantasy week.
And I wish the same to all our viewers. Good luck in week 5.